I'm here with Gordon Yenkanna, and he's been a client of ours for a number of years. So, first of all, Gordon, thanks for coming in and telling us about your business. First of all, maybe we'll start off with Rebus Legal, legal firm south of the river. Just maybe tell us what has happened since we took over your Rebus Legal AdWords campaign.
Yeah, well, with Rebus Legal has been operating for about 10 years now. It's a generalist law firm, approximately about 8 lawyers. Prior to engaging Web Wizards and Neville, we had a previous marketing company that was doing our AdWords, and we found they were a bit too pricey and they weren't getting the results that we expected. And then I met Neville because he designed a website for my previous for another business called Black Swan Settlements. And then I spoke with my business partner, and then we decided to contact Neville to see if we can improve our marketing for Rebus Legal. Neville, we phoned him, and within a day he came out and had a meeting with us, and we were quite impressed with his vision and project management skills in terms of getting the business moving in the right direction. I mean, at that stage, we didn't know if he's going to ever improve the previous marketing company's results, but so we gave him a chance, and then ever since we've given him a chance, and we've never looked back really because the results have been phenomenal. Just last month alone, we've had excess of 230 leads, and it's helped us during that period to grow. So we've at Rebus Legal, we've been with Neville for approximately 4 years now, and he's just been totally brilliant for the law firm, and we've grown in the right direction since we've engaged these services.
Look, for people who maybe haven't done AdWords before, in terms of reliability of your business, not going, oh, where are we going to get our business, today? Like, how does that AdWords help you in terms of planning and staffing?
Yeah, it's helped us tremendously simply because it takes away the role of us as managers of a medium-sized company to focus on the key objectives. So with the marketing that's been coming in and been handled by Web Wizard and Neville and his team, it's basically taken the stress from us, but it's also it's also a specialist, and it targets areas that we want to track. Like our law firm, Rebus Legal, we mainly focus in the general law aspects like civil, family, criminal. So if we have to contact Neville and say, look, we want more criminal matters, all we need to make is a phone call or an email, and then he makes it happen. Really, so that helps us manage our budgets better and our areas of law better, especially if we're low in certain areas.
Oh, look, that's great news. Look, the other thing is you actually started up a settlement agency as well, Black Swan Settlement, and I think it was a couple of years after you started it that you got us to do the AdWords campaign. Can you just tell us how that has performed?
Yes, so basically, I started another company called Black Swan Settlements. It's been in existence for approximately 3.5 to 4 years at the moment. So previous to that, we were just surviving off word of mouth and just run on a very small scale. But Neville and Web Wizards designed my website for that company, but I never really thought of taking it further in terms of advertising and marketing and all of that, because I was quite happy with the limited volume that I was getting at that point. But 2 years ago, I decided to expand that business, and since Neville was doing Rebus Legal's marketing, I said, why not? We'll give him a chance to try and see if he can help Black Swan Settlements. I mean, I didn't expect anything. I didn't, expect any phenomenal growth. But ever since I engaged Neville 2 years ago, the company has grown and grown to such an extent where we hired our first employee beginning of this year. We've got our own offices now. Previously, we were running a virtual office model, but now we've got a physical office in Victoria Park. And ever since, it's just grown phenomenally. I mean, last month alone, we have had excess of 120 leads from the marketing or the AdWord campaign. And that's a very impressive results considering.
So yeah, so look, once you put on someone new, obviously you want to make sure that you've got the revenue to then pay for them and all the support stuff. Because my understanding, you've got a full time and a part time, and then you as well. When it just gets too much work in.
Yeah, so at the moment, at the minute, we have so much work in at the moment. Like we are actually considering for the new financial year, which is January 2026, to hire another 2 staff, and that's so much. Nevertheless, help to improve the business. But the bottom line is like we when we engage the staff as well, we weren't injecting a lot of funds in the campaign, but obviously we took that risk with Webwizard to inject more funds, and then we didn't have to look back or worry about anything because the work started coming in, and then the staff member that we hired, she's meeting her KPIs, and that's mainly due to Webwizard's marketing and the strategy that they've given us.
Look, there's a lot of people who really aren't sure about AdWords. They've heard about it, but they sort of worry about the cost, and maybe they've played around with it themselves and they haven't really known how to run the campaign. So what is your sort of advice to them in terms of getting someone to run it professionally rather than sort of run it themselves?
Yeah, well, look, prior to engaging WebWizard, I sort of experimented with Google and tried for myself to see how I can get a campaign running. But it's so technical with Google, and you gotta know exactly what you're doing because you can technically mess up a campaign by not engaging the right keywords, for instance, or understanding how the budgets work with Google, that sort of thing. So what web wizards are good at is that they do this on a daily basis, and they've obviously over the years gained enough experience about how Google works. They've got good communication with the supplier as well, with the Google AdWords. And Google AdWords, a good thing about it is it's a quick burn as well, so you can get instant results. Because, for instance, with Black Swan settlements, we engaged Neville in around January 2024, and within a month, we just saw the results going upwards. So it's a very quick system, very quick burn. So the point I'm making is that you rather get a specialist to do it, because if you don't know what you're doing, like me trying it on my own, I wasn't getting great results. But when we pointed the specialist, and that's when we saw a turnaround in the business.
Look, thanks very much, Gordon, and thanks for coming in today and sharing that with us, because I know this is going to help a lot of businesses to really understand what they probably should be doing.
Yeah. Thank you, Neville, for the opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you.